We're going to hear you play the Grieg A minor piano concerto. Can you tell me your feelings about it and what it's meant historically in your career?
It's very funny. Grieg, you mean?
The Grieg A minor concerto.
Well, it's a very funny, horrible story, you know. I was brought up by a very severe German professor of the Brahms school, you know, the Brahms Joachim school, against Liszt, Wagner, etc. You know, that was my upbringing in music. So in those times, Grieg was considered small fry, you know, a man to be neglected. Some young pianist who played the Grieg Concerto was looked down upon, you know. What did he play? Grieg or... Well, I was brought up like that. And I came to the United States, and there was some sort of fight about my recording of Tchaikovsky concerto. There was some sort of quarrel at my recording company about it. They wanted to console me after that quarrel, that we will please let you play now a great Grieg concerto which is selling more than anything else. It's the greatest sale in America. They love it. I said, this concerto, not very, very important, you know. Well, my wife, who always takes care of things, you know, which are important financially too, she has the family, bought that Grieg concerto, put it on the piano stand. I played it through with such pleasure that I learned it in 3 days and made right away also a record of it with Ormandy, the Philadelphia Orchestra. But you know, later on, I remember Rachmaninov at a dinner in my house told me that for him, the Grieg concerto was the best concerto ever written without any exception, which was a little exaggerated in my belief, but still, it can inspire a man like Rachmaninoff to say such a thing. Do you know that since ever, I'm all the time thinking, what was the reason for any success I have had in my life? Because I certainly do not play the piano as well as most pianists who play. I never worked so much as they do, you know. They play the piano to perfection. I know young people now who play the piano as one can't play it better. But then, when I hear them play that way, I have my little question for them. I ask them, when will you start to make music? Make music, you see, that is something which preoccupies me. That means make music is something metaphysical. A painting is a painting, visible. A sculpture is visible. A poem is visible on the paper. Well, music is visible but not audible. I mean, it exists only because there are also necessary to it the other part of musicians, the interpreters. I belong to this group, you see. I call interpreters good talents, the composers geniuses, if they are the great composers I speak of, you see. But what happened to me is something quite strange, which I observed very often, you see. I observed the fact that I come on the stage for a concert as representation, as picture of what happens on the stage. It is rather ridiculous because a fat little man like me appearing there in an evening dress looks like an undertaker, you know, funeral things, and the piano has a little look of a coffin, if you like to know, you know. Well, and the public fills the hall, let's say. They come after a good dinner. The women look at each other, you know, at other women's dresses. Men think mostly about business or some games or some sports or God knows what. And there I have this crowd, not entirely quite musical, not really knowers of music, but who like music, who love music. And that is a very difficult proposition. I have to hold them, you know, in attention by my emotion, nothing else. I can't look at them, I can't make faces, I can't tell them, now comes a great moment, now you listen, now is a great thing for you, ah ha ha, ah ha. Nothing of the kind, huh? I have to play. Look there straight in front of me. But there is a certain antenna, there is a certain secret thing, there is a thing which goes out, emanates from me, from my emotion, not from me, from my emotion, from the feeling. You like to call it soul if you like to. I don't know what soul means, but it's a word which one uses very much without knowing what it represents really. But this something, which let me call it for the moment soul if you like, projects something which I do feel that it is doing it. It suddenly puts the audience into my hands. There's a moment where I feel them all here. I can do anything. I can hold them with one little note in the air, and they will not breathe because they wait what happens next, you know, what will come in the music. That is a great, great moment. Not always does it happen, but when it does happen, it is a great moment of our lives.